Okay, so I'm going to call in protection as we go into the tarot. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to do the X return read. And I'm going to go by the element, but by the sign. So we'll do each sign its own separate read. That way everybody's got a chance at actually having something resonate with them. So we'll start out with fire. And we'll start out with Aries. So you've got the King of Cups there flipping out. So you might be dealing with a water sign. You may be dealing with someone who is very in control of their emotions to the point of aloofness. Messages for Aries, please. Messages for Aries. So how do they feel about you? We have the Star. How do they feel about getting back with you? We have the Page of Swords. What is the likelihood of you getting back together? We have the Two of Pentacles. I don't know if you can actually see these. It's getting back together for your highest good. We have the Five of Cups. Will it last if you get back together? We have the Nine of Wands. And what's the advice? And the Six of Cups. So I've just heard in my head, some things are better left to memory. You know, some things are better left to the memory. Oh, 1 minute. These dogs. Sorry about that. My dogs were booting off outside. Yeah, so what I was hearing in my head was, you know, some things are better just left to the memory. Sometimes we should just indulge in the memories and leave it be. However, how do they feel about you, the Star? They see you as their safe place. They see you as their guided light, the one that they turn to, the one that you may be. When times was bad, when things was going wrong, when things in their life was falling apart, you may have been the one that kind of stepped in and took control in the situation and guided them away from it, moved them away from a place of feeling hurt, upset, angry. And you may have actually really helped them to heal and repair themselves and move on in a non-toxic way. So they may look at you as somebody who, they may look at you as if you are their star, that you are their light in the darkness. But with the King of Cups jumping out a minute ago, you know, the King of Cups ain't going to tell you that. He's not going to let you know that. He or she, doesn't matter, male or female, it's just energy. But they're not going to let you know that. Stubborn ass people, they just would clam up. It's almost like, and I've just heard in my head, I would rather die than admit I have feelings. And that may be the kind of person that you are dealing with, but they do look at you as if you are something special to them, something that comes to them at a time when they really needed a guiding light, at the time when they really needed something or someone. But, you know, people are people. People will do what people do, and a lot of people will appreciate the help that they get in times of need. But they'll have no intention of ever being that person for somebody else. And as, you know, they may appreciate the fact that you may have helped them or got them out of a situation, but that doesn't mean they're going to respect you. So you may actually have been dealing with someone who you did help out of a situation, who then went on to disrespect you in some degree, or who then went cold on you and was aloof and could have been a bit rude with you. There's, you know, shut down the emotions, shut down. They may have come at you all emotional, but then shut them right down. So that could be who you're dealing with. But how do they feel about getting back together with you? We've got the Page of Swords. So this indicates that they are probably watching you. They probably have eyes on you. They're probably seeing what you're up to a lot. They may be thinking carefully. Maybe not so carefully though. No, not now that I said it. They may be thinking or considering the idea of possibly coming back or getting back into a connection with you. However, with it being a page, it's almost like immature thoughts, or it's thoughts that are just kind of off the cusp. So it may not be something that they follow through action on. It may be something that comes to them and they let it go. Comes to them and let it go. So, you know, how do they feel about getting back with you? I feel like if they did, it might be like a rushed in kind of, not thought through very well, not really healed, not really going to talk about it. We just don't discuss it. We just kind of get back together. And then it all falls apart again because we're not discussing the issue at hand. We're not discussing what happened in the first place. It's almost like they like to brush it under the rug, act like it never happened. But they may be coming at it with a very immature energy. And this is if they do come back to you. Because the likelihood of you getting back together, we have the Two of Pentacles. You may just have, when you've gone your separate ways, you may have just got so much going on at the moment that you just might not slot back into each other's lives in the same way. They may have had a lot going on, and they may still have had a lot going on. They may have had a lot going on. They may still have a lot going on in regards to their life, their work, family, and stuff like that. And it may be that they're still in the same position. So whereas they may see you as this guiding light to them that they may want to come rushing in to connect with, they've still got all the shit going on. I mean, there's the love art in the background as well. That's just caught my eye. So it's like they may still be connected in some way to somebody else as well. So it may be that they would put you in a juggling situation, but they may just have a lot going on. They may have something, the same stuff that caused the issue in the first place, maybe factoring into their life in some way. And if they do come back, I don't feel like they'd have really thought it through. And I don't feel like you're going to be getting the attention or the effort or the energy that you would be hoping for in the situation. And then it says, is getting back together for your highest good. We've got the Five of Cups here. I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is. I feel like this was a lesson that you've had to learn. A painful lesson at that, but I feel like it's time to release. I feel like the possibility of this coming back around, or if this did ever come back around, or you did ever get connected or speaking to them again in some degree, and it's almost like it would be a test. It's almost like it would be a test to see if you're prepared to let stuff go that you know is not serving you. Are you prepared to let it go and move on to the new? With this Five of Cups here, I feel like this is telling you that, you know, is it for your highest good? It's a lesson. You need to learn the lesson. Them coming back in towards you might be for your highest good, to see if you've leveled up or whether you're willing to go backwards when you know that you should be moving forwards. When you actually know in your heart of hearts, I feel like in your heart of hearts, the grief on her face in this cup card here, the grief on her face is painful. She feels it. It's emotional, but it's almost like she, you know, the way that this card is depicted, it is a funeral scene. She knows it was the end. She knows it's the end. Let it rest in peace. You've got R.I.P. there in the background on a tombstone. Let it rest in peace. Let it go. Let yourself rest in peace as well in your future. Don't be bringing yourself back into a place that may have had you in turmoil. So, will it last if you get back together? You've got the Nine of Wands here. It will be a battle. It will be a battle. It may not be a pretty battle. It may become burdensome, and it will. I don't feel like it would last. I feel like it'd be something that would eventually come to a close, because the 9's one from the 10. I feel like it's something that would eventually close out. I don't feel like in this situation it would be very long if you were to come back together. I feel like it'd be a rush job, and it wouldn't be very long before you're at each other's throats again, or before this juggling, and whether that's another person, or whether that's just juggling you're messing with your mind, or if it's that they've got family or kids or something like that. I feel like it won't be too long before something raises its head again, and it's not going to be starting off from little bickery points. It's going to be starting off from the bitter end of the last time. I feel like it's going to start off from the bitter end of the last time. It will blow up very quickly. We've jumped here, so, you know, will it last if you get back together? We've jumped to the 9 of Wands, all the Wands cards that we could have got there, and we've jumped to the 9 of Wands, saying it is jumping to the end of the story. To me, that's what it's saying to me. And the advice here is, sometimes, you know, when we look at our reflections, or when we look back at things are not always as they appeared. And even when we're looking at our own reflection, we're not really seeing what is there. We're looking at something we're looking at something in a way where it may have been beautiful, serene, it may have been this, and it may have been for a little while. Something may have been for a little while. However, I think with the excitement of someone coming back in towards you, what's going to happen is that you're suddenly going to forget all of the bad times, all of the things that started going wrong, all of the times you were left kind of on pause while they were juggling everything else going on around them, and they just didn't have the time for you. All the arguments, all the fights, all the times that you tried to stand your ground but you're having your boundaries tested. I feel like all this is just going to kind of go from your mind, because you're going to be that excited if they do come back. But I feel like if they do, and they very well might, because they are watching you, they may be trying to gather information on you, find out what you're up to. They may be thinking about coming in and communicating with you, something small. It'd be something small, just to see where it goes from. But I feel like this is going to be a lesson to see whether you're ready just to do for you, whether you're going to be able to accept that something is over and release it and let it go, so that you can move on and find your 2 of Cups, so you can find your happiness. And I feel like that's the messages coming through here. We are looking at something through. We are going to end up looking at something through rose-tinted glasses. And that's going to put us in a position where we're going to be in the exact same boat. And it doesn't, you know, I couldn't tell you as to how long, you know, it would, but I feel like it'd come about quite very quickly. I feel like it'd come about very quickly, and you'll be in the exact same boat where you'd be parted and there'd be drama and stuff like that. So that's what I'm getting. So that one was for Aries. So I'm just going to take a quick pause a minute, and we'll get on to Leo. Hey guys, so this is a read for Leo to see if the ex is coming back and what's going on in that energy. Messages for Leo, please. Oh god, that incense is really starting to get on my chest now. Messages for Leo. It's coming back. Ooh, 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 ooh. So when we're dropping all the cards and stuff like that, you may be actually in a very disruptive energy in regards to the ex, or you may be feeling very flustered in regard to the ex. So we have the 2 of Cups. That's wanting to jump out there. So the 2 of Cups, as we know, is all about kind of connections. It speaks about two-way streets, people wanting to put the effort and energy into something. We also have the 9 of Cups and the 3 of Swords jumping out there. So yeah, it's an X read. Oh, trust them to start cutting the grass or across the verges outside. So, how do they feel about you? We've got the Eight of Cups. How do they feel about getting back together with you? We've got the Five of Swords. What is the likelihood of you getting back together? We have the Seven of Wands. Is getting back together for your highest good with this person. We've got the Four of Cups. Well, at last, if you get back together, we've got the Ace of Swords. And what is the advice for you? We've got the Nine of Cups coming back out again there. 1 minute, let me clear my throat. Sorry about that. So it's not looking too hopeful of him being completely honest with you. And I feel like, you know this. I feel like that's why this is this disruptive energy that might be going on around you. And when I say disruptive energy, what I started thinking then, like it started going through my mind, was it's disruptive energy. Like it's almost like you would want to get back with this person, but then you don't. You want to, but you don't. So you may actually really miss this person, but you may be realising with the Three of Swords that jumped out first and the Nine of Cups when it came out, along with the Two of Cups, you may really miss this person. This may be somebody that has really stuck with you, that you've just found yourself not really being able to move beyond to an extent, and it's something that's really hurt you. There has been a real big heartbreak here, but you may be realising that you're better off on your own. So there's this conflict with you. There's this conflict where you want it so bad, but you don't at the same time. If you're really honest with yourself, and you might go, no, I do really want it, but I feel like if you were being completely wholeheartedly honest with yourself, actually, I don't really want it. And it's a weird energy like that I'm getting through. So how do they feel about you? We've got the Eight of Cups. I feel like they're moving on from you. I feel like they're moving on from you, and they feel like you're moving on from them too. They feel like it was a natural, you know, we had the love. The love dissipated, the love, like the cups tipped over, the love dissipated, and it was time to move on. And it feels like that kind of energy. It feels like we had the love, but we know we had to move away from it, even though we had strong attachment. So it may have been like kind of mutual, but not so mutual. It might have not even been that much of a traumatic breakup. I don't know. Because although usually in the Eight of Cups, it's like a quite peaceful energy. It's kind of resigning ourselves to the fact it's over. So it may that you went through a really bad, tumultuous episode with somebody, but then in the end, it kind of parted ways quite uneventfully, I want to say. So like kind of maybe like you just resigned yourself to the fact that it was over. So you just weren't fighting for something anymore. I feel like they are moving on from you, and I feel like they feel you have moved on from them. And I feel like they feel it was a necessary end, a necessary walk away. You had to come away to go and find what is for you. You had to come away to go and find the Nine of Cups, to get good with yourself. So you may have both had problems within the relationship, where it might have been trust issues, it might have been this, it might have been that, but it could all stem from like past experiences that you've had, and coming together just created, you know, this love, but then this power keg. And it's like you just knew, it's almost like you knew you had to come apart to sort yourselves out, to get yourselves in a good place to be able to find your Ten of Cups. You had to leave what was hurting you in this Eight of Cups, which wasn't really bringing you satisfaction, to find the Nine of Cups of peace within yourself, to be able to move into a Ten of Cups with somebody else. You know, how do they feel about getting back together with you? We've got the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords is all about change. You know, when we think about the Five of Swords, it's about changing our minds. So they may be conflicted themselves. You may be conflicted. They may be conflicted. But the reality of it was that it maybe wasn't the best situation, and it may have been getting to the point where it was disruptive not only to yourselves but to other people. But with this card, this Five of Swords, I feel like you've got these two down here that are cowering, and they're almost a mirror image, a kiddie image of these two up here. I feel like the healing has not been done. We may have come away from it, but then closed down and not healed our inner child to be able to come back together in a successful way. And when they think about getting back with you, they may feel that it will come back to a place of turmoil and a place where it will not be pleasant. So they may just not be wanting to entertain it, but at the same time, it's a card of change. So I feel like change of the mind. I feel like they go back and forth on it. However, I will say that if you have come apart to work on self, to get yourselves good, you may not be in that place yet. You both may not be in that place yet, and you may not be doing the work on your inner selves to be able to heal yourselves to come back together at the moment anyway. So what is the likelihood of you two getting back together? We've got the Seven of Wands. I don't know. I don't know. You might have had a lot of outside influences that affected your connection. And if you could ever get to a point where you've worked on yourself, if you've ever got to a point where you have worked on yourselves and you have healed yourselves of your trauma, so you're not coming and reflecting and deflecting inside traumas onto each other, then you could make a really good team if you hold off all of the outside influences together as a unit in unison. However, with the fact that there's this feeling that I'm getting where this work's just not being done, it's just not being done. I feel like there's not much chance of you coming back together at the moment, because you will both be very guarded against each other. There's maybe hurtful words, something's been done or said where, you know, it's kind of unforgivable, but it is forgivable, but it's unforgivable. But if we're not doing the work, then it remains unforgivable, and it may be something that would be an issue. So the likelihood of you getting back together at the moment, if you've not done the work, is not very likely at all. If you've done the work and down the road and let like sleeping dogs lie for a bit while you work on yourself, then there is this possibility that you could come back together and be this power couple, keeping all the outside influences out. But at the moment, I feel like it's almost like Spirit's telling you, stop, no. And I feel like both of you should be saying no, and both of you shouldn't be diving or wanting to dive into it until you've done the work on yourselves. And if one of you wants to dive into it and doesn't want to do the work on yourself, you've got to ask yourself, well, why would you want to put yourself in that situation as well? And, you know, like to be back in that place, because they're just going to drag you down. All that healing, if you've done the healing and they've not, or vice versa, it's all going to have been for nothing, because they will drag you down and you will get back to a place where you'll be insecure and it will dig up all your demons again. You need to be in a good place, independent of each other, to be able to come together in a successful way. Is getting back together for your highest good? No, I don't feel like it would be. I feel like there may have been issues, especially with this outside influencey card here. Sorry. There may have been issues with other people encroaching onto your relationship. There may have been issues whereby you found yourself being left out a lot for other people, or perhaps, you know, you went above and beyond for them and you invited them everywhere and you had them out everywhere with you and you did things together and you wanted to do this together and do that together and you wanted to be very close, but yet they would often leave you out or choose something else over spending time. So there's something there, and I feel like if you were to get back together, I feel like you'd be in this same place. I feel like if you got back together, you'll be in this, you will feel lost in a crowd again. There's this feeling that if they're not healed, or one of you is not healed, you're going to be dragging each other down again, and you're going to be in the same boat. And this might be due to insecurities. It may be that you may suffer with social anxiety or something like that, and you just don't like joining in. Or maybe you were going out with the crowd, but then they were like kind of, you'd find yourself sat there uncomfortable and not wanting really to be getting involved. That just might be who you are as a person. And I feel like you'd be pulled into that kind of situation again. And it might be an uncomfortable situation for you, especially if you've got trust issues, because you may be having your head mulling over, and it just may be in a place where it's going to leave you feeling unhappy. I feel like there's an unhappiness about this. And it could be that just because, you know, they're having fun with somebody else, but you're not really enjoying yourself in the situation. So was you finding yourself in situations a lot where you just didn't want to be there, or you weren't really invited, but you were just tagged along, so you felt uncomfortable and didn't want to really, or was it like situations where their friends was all about them, but just weren't really that interested in getting to know you and stuff like that? So there's something there. Was it for your higher good? Will it be for your higher good if you get back together? I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be. I think you would very quickly come to learn that nothing's really changed. And this might be to do with you. This might be to do with you more so. It may be that you need to heal yourself and get yourself to a place where you interact. Maybe you're just one of them that doesn't have a lot of friends, or doesn't like kind of being involved with a lot of people or groups of people and stuff like that. And it may be that you need to learn to get good with yourself, to be able to open yourself up to create like friendships. You might struggle to make friendships. You might struggle to connect with people, and being put in a situation where you feel like you're just closed down. It might be that you need to learn first to open yourself up to offers that come in towards you, and not feel like so shut down by it. And that can be to do with social anxiety. It can be to do with absolutely anything. Where we just feel like sometimes we feel a bit insecure, and like maybe people just won't like us, so we get a panic that people won't like us, so we don't kind of open ourselves up to befriend them, and we don't really get a space in the group. If you say we'll be in the group, but we're not really a part of it. There's energy like that there. Will it last if you get back together? We've got the Ace of Swords, and I think this is just telling you that you already know. You already know it's time to kind of cut through the nonsense, and you know you've got all this here saying that you're learning, or you've learned, and this could be telling you that you need to learn. You need to get your mind straight. You need to get your mind to a place where it's healthy, and they do too. I feel like they do too, but you need to get yourself to a place where your mind is healthy to be able to connect in any kind of way like that. However, because of this feeling of unhealedness, this feeling that we've not really done the work to heal ourselves, no, I don't. I feel like again, another one where I'm going to say I feel like you'll end up back in the same situation very quickly if you come back together and you've not done the work and you've not healed yourself. And I feel like you already know this. Will it last? I feel like the answer here is in the situation. If you've not done the work, you already know. Time would tell the truth. You know, it is, the truth will out. But it's down to the situation. So it's down to whether you've done the work, whether they've done the work, how we're coming at the situation, everything that we put into it. And that's only when the clarity will come of how it could possibly be. So could it work out? It might work out. It might work out. You might cut through the nonsense. But at the same time, it might also become a weapon. It might also be that because you've not done the work, you end up in the same situation and you start using kind of weapons and words against each other again. I feel like there was words against each other. It may be that you were just trying to upset each other or just arguing. Everybody says things in arguments that they don't mean, and they can be quite hurtful. I feel like things like that may have gone on between you. Now, the advice here is the Nine of Cups. You need to get good with yourself. You need to get good with yourself. You need to get emotionally stable with yourself to a point where if you are in a connection, you are still your own person as well as part of a connection. Two don't come together to make one. Two come together to make two. And you are, you know, learning that you are your individual people and you can have individual lives or individual interests, but then you get to come together and enjoy the time you've got together. And until you get emotionally balanced within yourself, you might not be able, or they might not be able to partake in that way. And that's where the issues start. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one there. Yes, we're going to continue this one with Sagittarius, and this is going to be, will they come back read? Just try to swig my brew quick before it goes cold. And I don't want to leave the phone on pause for too long because I don't know if it cuts out. I don't know if it stays on pause or if it cuts out, but we'll get into it in a sec. Okay, let's do this. So this is Sagittarius. Messages for Sagittarius, please. So we've got the Strength reverse there jumping out. So you may be feeling, in regards to the ex, that you're being pulled back in towards them. You may be feeling like, whereas you may have split with somebody and you may have been very strong about it. You may have been in a position where you was like very guarded. You kept your guards up. You were having nothing to do with it. You decided that you just wanted to be on your own. But then something may be changing and you may be softening to this, but in doing so it may be something that could trigger you back into an unhealthy state. So you may have been in an unhealthy relationship and it may be something that caused you a lot of stress and anxiety. It may have been something that really triggered off your inner child. We've got the Magician trying to jump out there, triggered off your inner child, and it may be something that could very easily, if you've not done the work, put you back into a state that you've worked so hard to get yourself out of. Now with the Magician trying to pop out there, I feel like this may be something that you've manifested intentionally or unintentionally. And if we think about things, you know, thoughts of things, when we think about things, we kind of bring them into being. This is why they always say, keep your thoughts positive, whether your situation says it or not, keep your thoughts positive, because if you sit there thinking over and over again, I haven't got this, I haven't got that, then this and that you're not going to have, because the universe will be like, yeah, you haven't got this, you haven't got that. If you sit there and think, I'm gonna have this is going to be for me, this is going to be mine, and you live your life as if this is fact already, these things will naturally roll in for you. So you may have been thinking over and thinking over and thinking over something unintentionally, willing it to be, and it may be a situation that is has the potential to put you in a negative self space. Okay. So how do they feel about you? We've got the Seven of Cups. How do they feel about getting back together with you? We've got the Ace of Cups. What is the likelihood of you getting back together? We have the Three of Pentacles. Is getting back together for your greatest good. We have the Seven of Swords. Will it last if you get back together? We've got the Knight of Wands. And what is the advice for you? The Knight of Cups. Now, I'm always tempted, because I do know the star signs that go along with these cards and stuff like that, or, you know, the elements and stuff. And I'm always tempted to jump into saying, oh, this could be like Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. This could be Taurus. And I have, you know, like Sagittarius, Aries, I have the pull, the desire to do things like that, but at the same time I kind of pull myself back from doing it, because you tie yourself in and you limit things for people. And with that said, it's like, I know a lot of Sagittarius people and a lot of Leo people who I would describe as the Knight of Cups, which is a water sign, which is not a fire sign. And they may listen to a read and go, yeah, it's not for me. Obviously, it's not for me if it's this particular sign. I think we all have all of the signs in our chart somewhere along the way. If we went and really dug into it, we would find that we do, and it just could be a element or trait to our personality that we have, that we hold. And that's why I try to shy away from including this, but because I have been asked, somebody has asked me recently why I don't, and it's for that reason. It's because it limits who the reading could be for when it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be an issue. So I'm just mentioning that. How do they feel about you? 7 of Cups. I don't think they know how to feel about you. I think they're confused in their own thoughts. I feel like they may have treated you like an option. You may be someone that they treated as an option, and you may be someone that they still see as an option. They may desire on an emotional level to be with you, but they also desire on an emotional level so many other things, and you might just not fit into that. So it's like, I feel like they don't know how to feel about you, but they also may be feeling, there is an element here that they also may be feeling that you have got the doors opening for you. You have got options now. It could be like your life. Maybe after you split up with them, maybe after you parted ways, that they were expecting, maybe maybe things were going in a bit of a nosedive for you, and they were expecting you to continue down, down, down on this plummet. And blow me, typical Sagittarius fashion, you've gone down, 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 let everything crumble, gone to ruins, and then you've like blossomed like the phoenix, and doors have started opening for you, things have started happening for you, you've literally changed your whole life of being. It's like it's almost like a Scorpio trait, but a lot of Sagittariuses have it, where we hit rock bottom and then we bloom. We hit the rock bottom and then we bloom in the darkness, and it's a very Scorpio trait that we do. A lot of Sagittariuses do have. So they may feel that since you've parted ways, that you have so much going for you now, and they may feel that they can't approach you because of this. They may feel that they may not even be an option that you would be open to at the moment, because you can afford to be fussy. You can afford to be fussy. A lot of what they're feeling and thinking, though, in that regards, may be illusional. It may be something that they're kind of whispering up in their heads, thinking, you might be having this, you might be having that. And it's true, you might be on an upward climb. But that's not to say it's all a bed of roses, but they may be feeling like everything's just kind of taken off or changed or gone for the better for you, and that they just might not fit into your life anymore. They might not be somebody that you would consider an option anymore. And this may be because if you've hit rock bottom and you've bloomed and you started to grow, that you are at a place now where we learn the lessons, Sagittariuses, we learn the lessons, and we move forward with that. It can take us a long time to learn. That there's no denying that. There's no getting around that. But once it's done, it's done. And once we switch, we switch. It's gone. But it can take a lot for us to get there. And when we do change, we won't accept anything less than we deserve. We won't accept any nonsense. We don't fall for the illusions. We don't fall for the dreams. And if you see in this card here, it's quite poignant. She's got her eyes shut. It's almost like, yeah, bring all these options to me, but I'll let you think I'm thinking about it. I ain't thinking about it. And there's that kind of energy coming off that card as well. So what they feel, how they feel about getting back together with you. We've got the Ace of Cups. I feel like you are very special to this person. I feel like they do really have, and it may be actually that you've not seen them for some time, or maybe you do bump into them around about, but you don't really interact or anything like that. And it may be that now that you've kind of closed your eyes to the bullshit, that it's sparking an emotion in them. So basically you're what is the word? Your indifference has sparked the emotion in them. It's really lit something within them, especially with this Ace of Cups. So I feel like they do feel like they would want to be with you. Whether they would admit that, you know, that's a different story. That's a different kettle of fish, because you'll find with a lot of people, they could feel and feel and feel and feel for you. And they will, I mean, people that will literally let the love of their life walk away because they're stubborn, or they've got something to prove to other people. And it could be that kind of energy. So just because they're desiring this with you, does it mean they're going to come forward and do this? I feel like they would like this opportunity to arise somehow, some way. However, what is the likelihood of you getting back together? Now, this could be a work situation. This could be somebody from a workplace. But the likelihood of you getting back together, we've got the Three of Pentacles. And this suggests to me that they might actually be already in a situation. They might actually already building something or working towards something with somebody else. But their emotions sit with you. So this might be a very flighty person, a very flighty energy, whereby they start building with people. They start building with people, maybe with good intentions, but their emotions get pulled elsewhere quite a lot of the time. So the likelihood of you getting back together, I think if you were willing to put the work in, if you were willing to come together and put the work into it, you know, you might build something that would be stable. But I do feel like there is a chance that they are already caught up in something, or they're already doing something with others, and yet they've got this on the side. You know, they're letting these people, it's almost like they're pointing these people to this, like, look at this. This is us. Look at it, it's us. But in the truth is this one behind is where his mind's at, you know, and it's like, I get a feeling that maybe they've sparked an emotion back for you. Maybe they've got a bit bored where they are, and they've sparked an emotion back for you. Or maybe it's a bit of jealousy. Maybe they're finding things out about you. Maybe they are seeing that you have got options, or they're seeing that your life has improved, and they're being pulled and attracted towards that. But I feel like they're already in something. And as I say, this could be a workplace situation. Doesn't have to be. It could be within a friend group. But this, I feel like they're already within something. I feel like they're already within something. I feel like there's already something they're involved with, or a person that they are with, where they're showing them one thing, but they're feeling, you know, they're showing them, oh, look, let's build stability together, but their heart is somewhere else. They're not showing them the heart. Their emotions are somewhere else. Is getting back together for your highest good. Oh, no. Nope, I wouldn't say so. I feel like if you was to start kind of engaging with this person again, if you were starting to connect with this person again, I feel like it would be something either sneaky or something that's going to encroach on something else that they've got going on. They may be the kind of person that likes to warm the bed with another while they're getting bored and rid of somebody else. They may have done this with you. But it feels very sneaky. It feels very sneaky and very negative. It feels like maybe they kept you as a secret in the past. Maybe they've kept the one that they're with now a secret from you. There is a lot of sneakiness around this, and I feel like getting back together would probably not be for your highest good. I feel like it's going to end in conflict because you've not paid attention to the truth. For this too, this is the swords are literally crossed on this. You've not paid attention. You've not sat and thought things through before moving forward with something. So I feel like you're going to find yourself in a situation where you're going to be sneaking about. And where you're going to, almost like see, private, when you think of people, when you get with people and they say they like to keep the relationships private, private does not mean secret. Private means that nobody knows your business, but they know you together. If you find yourself in a situation where someone's making you feel like nobody can know that you're together, start questioning it. If they're making you feel, when they're getting with you, that their ex can't know you're together, question it. Why has it got to be kept a secret from their ex? Yeah, maybe their ex will kick off. Maybe they will fight and scream about it and all this. But why should you be kept a secret from them? For what reason? So question anything like that. Will it last if you get back together? I think it'd be very fleeting. We've got the Knight of Wands here, and this is a very fleety energy. This is the Playboy Playgirl type. I feel like it'd be a very fleeting energy, maybe very passionate. It may come back together with a great spark. I think it would be fleeting. I think they'll come back in, but when we think of the Knight of Wands is the energy where, you know, they're invested in something, they're really invested in something. It's like someone working for a company. If we think about it like that, if you work for this company and they're doing all this work and they're doing a fantastic job and they're getting promotions and all this, but then somebody else offers them something different, they will literally bin off what they've got to go chasing after the next. They will leave what they've got and chase the next thing that desires and that sparks their flames like that. And I feel like it'd be very fleeting. I feel like this is how it was before. I feel like it'd be very fleeting, and I don't think it would last. I think it'd be in and out, in and out. No, I don't. And your advice is we've got the Knight of Cups as the advice. Again, we see three people, like we're seeing multiples on the cards and stuff like that. I feel like the advice is that you probably already know the situation about this person. You already know who they are. You know who they are at core and what they are like. You know they like to show off a little bit. You know that they like to love bomb a bit. You know that you are going to be giving them more attention than what they're giving you. And I feel like your advice here is to I feel like the advice here is not to throw yourself into something. You may have threw yourself into it in the past. You may have been like kind of just jumped on it in the past. They may have done to you what they've done to the person before when they got with you. You may be aware of this person and how they are. Don't go throwing yourself into something because of emotion. Don't be getting het up and caught up in emotions when you know it may be fleeting. Don't get carried away. Don't allow yourself to get carried away and drawn into something when you know it may be fleeting. And I feel like it will be fleeting. And I feel like you already know this. I don't think this is the first time you would have creeped around with this person if they do come back. So there's a possibility that they may come back. There's a possibility that they may try and start something sneaky with you. I don't think it will last. I don't think it will last. All right, I'm going to leave that one there. Thank you.